Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Dundersnuff, Misfit, Chipper Phoenix, Cody, welcome. I do want to tell all of you real quick that I got after I started stream, before I turned on the mic, I got a phone call that my son's school has an early dismissal today because there's power outage at their school. So he's going to be home early, so I'm going to end stream early is what's going to happen. So I'm going to stream for a little bit, and then that's we're basically just going to call it. So I might stream to about maybe an hour or so. Yeah, welcome guys, welcome. Oh, Cheaper Phoenix, a 3 stream streak. I see that. Welcome. Give me 1 second. Hold on. I gotta grab something. Hit. Don't you love power outages? Yeah. When I worked in warehouses and stuff, I would always just hope for a power outage like every day. I think it happened once when I was working at like a shipping job, and I was like, man, this is the greatest thing ever. We just sit down for like 2 hours while they try to like fix everything. It's so nice. I just live for those moments. All right. So, yeah, we're gonna do some easy hobbying while we do this. So. Don't want to mess with her stuff. Yeah, yep. I was thinking about making one. That's so bad. All right, guys. We got Luke. Luke here is done. I need to work on the basing. Potential spelling mistakes. I'm slightly drunk thanks to being in role of official university representative with my professor. Students having a location next to a local brewery. Dang. Okay. It's alright. Spelling mistakes happen. I won't blame anything else. Yep, you have that power. Or not, right? So I'm going to get back to Luke here. I want to do some dry brushing on his base. I want to paint the base rim, and then I want to see if I can't figure out some snow effects to put on here, because that's something I really want to do, is work on a bunch of snow effects over that. But I also have this mini I want to assemble, which looks like it had been sitting on the shelf. There's another Hoth themed mini. Look at this. It's an FD 1.4 FD laser cannon team. I want to put this together. So we're doing. John Lockridge, welcome. Sober enough to be aware. It's a good sign. yeah. I am literally never drunk, but I still type like a toddler in Twitch chat when I'm in someone else's Twitch chat, so I have no excuse. I still can't do this properly, so it's all good. Morning, John Lockridge. Open new Black Book excerpt today. For some reason, you're getting tons of out. No, it is Space Wolves, isn't it? Yeah, yep. That's the whole thing. There's the box. Ooh, look at that. All right. Nice reinforced box, so that's nice of them. That'll go into recycling. There's the laser cannon. These are the minis. Now, these are the soft plastic minis because they haven't been redone yet. So, soft plastic. But they are Hoth Rebels, which is great. Instructions. They used to put assembly instructions inside the box. So they got it. Cool. We'll put this guy together. Good talk. And then we got rules, and these are all outdated rules because they're in a second edition now for this game, and this is all first edition stuff, but sweet. Very sweet. These are good cards, though. Alright, they don't use little cards anymore either. They're all the same size. And then punch board. Lots of cardboard. Very cool. And then that's the base it goes on. So it goes on a giant base. Just get that out. I think I've talked about this, how each faction has their own color base. So even if you don't paint it's collector's pieces. Yeah, I have about 6 million collector's pieces that are essentially not usable for the game. I played a learning game Tuesday evening, and the gentleman I was playing against, he literally told me that he said it's easier to just to just print out your list every time, like their apps that you just print out like pictures of the cards, and that's what that's what those apps do. He said it's easier to do that than to collect the cards. He's like, it's you just print it out and you have the updated rules because the website stays up to date. So that's probably smart. I don't want to use the ink. That dude was doing color pictures of everything though, which I don't know about that, but okay. More baggies. Pirate Gamer, what's going on? Fancy satellite dish. Now, this is hard plastic. And what's funny is how some of these older Legion minis they were all soft plastic. So you see we have the actual models in here, the infantry models. And they are that kind of like glossy, like injection molded, like spin cast kind of plastic resin that's a little bendy and that will warp and stuff. That's how all the infantry are in most of the models. But when they would make bigger stuff, they would print them, and these were hard plastic. So the classic injection mold, not the spin cast, but like injection molded on sprues, but they'd cut them off sprues. So you wouldn't have the sprues, they'd just clip them off right there, and then you'd be able to put these together. I think these work with plastic glue. I tried them on the airspeeder I put together, and it worked. But just letting you guys know, it's a short stream today. Yeah. I got a message that my son's school has an early dismissal. He's coming home around 1 o'clock, so because they lost power. Good old school lost power. Okay, we need these two things, and we need this thing. Okay, those are essential parts. We have that, and the little computer piece. Is that the right computer piece? Yeah, I mean, it looks like it. I think that gets cut off. Yeah. Okay, let's trim some pieces here. How you guys doing? Yes, I did see the new rules for the guards stuff. I didn't look at Commissar Graves because it just popped up, right? But I'm not interested in her mini at all. But the little hippogriff and the centaur are both really cool. Is she broken? Hold on. And up to D3. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. She's broken also, like everything at the end of every edition. What do you guys think of the melee rule changes? Anybody have opinions on that? I actually have someone going through there and like trimming these pieces a bit. That's cool. So if that goes like that, does that make sense? Oh, okay, hold on. Get it. This piece goes right there. Okay. And then it can move slightly. Yeah, that's what we need. Look at that. Look at that movement, guys. I did a dumb yesterday. Oh no. Went some paint on primer, so I went and ordered airbrush primer. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You can use a brush and airbrush primer. There's not going to be like police that come and break down your door or anything. It's totally fine. So excited about Graves before the data she was released, calling her Tuck Bay. I don't know what that means. Should I know what that means? Am I too old to know what that means? No, no. You use a brush pirate. Oh, truck bay. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Makes a little more sense. Yeah, pirate gamer. You made no mistake. You are totally fine. You can use a paintbrush with airbrush primer. It's not gonna melt your brush bristles. The only thing is the paint is a little thinner, and there's literally no problem with that. There's absolutely no issue with that, so don't worry about it at all. No, don't do layers of primer. Yeah, so primer, especially paint on primer, is super thin. Okay, so you're gonna paint that primer on, even with the brush on primer. It's the same thing. You're gonna paint it on. You're like, man, this doesn't cover anything. Like, I need another coat. I need another coat. I need another coat. Don't put more than one coat. The important thing to remember about primer is not there, especially the brush on primer. It's not there to be a base color. Its sole purpose is a chemical reaction where it bonds with the miniature, and then it allows the model to become more paintable. It allows the paint to stick to it instead of, the bare plastic where it wouldn't work so well. So paint just one decent layer on there, and it should be plenty. I'm getting messages. Let me see. Okay. Eight. Of course, they make a completely broken character with 2 months left in the edition. Let's go here. Don't trust it. Like it should fit somewhere else. Let's give it a minute. This is these characters coming out. It's like GW saying, like, we've shown restraint all edition. We've had balance, right? And then they're like, well, I get some moments to have fun. Just let me release some broken rules for at least a few months. Every variation in rules, yeah, every time, yeah, it really is. Every single time. What do we got here? Crazy. What's going on, Frankie Fingers? How are you doing today? Happy Thursday. Just letting you know we have a short stream today. I got a call from my son's school that they have no power and they're doing an early dismissal. So, bought a little early. was a mini I always wanted, and I was like, nah, I play Rebels. I'm not gonna get it. But to me, you know, defensive artillery, big fan of artillery in games. Always like my go-to for some reason. Not going in there very well. That's because it goes in a certain way. That's right. Alright. Painting Dad. Chill, dude. Cool. So that's all good. How does this... Okay, that will fit in there. Does this fit here? Is this how this works? Oh, I think I cracked the code. Found your skeleton scheme? Oh, cool. What are you doing for it? What's the scheme? Something I am going to do, though. We're going to glue this upright. Oh, I see. Alright. Alright. They have that backwards. Man, these instructions are terrible. You can see why they got rid of instructions. They're telling me to put this on the other side, this little panel. Awful. No GW slop today, Greenleaf. What's going on? I hope you're doing well, Greenleaf. Oh, is it? Oh, whoops. Yeah, I did that. I messed it up. That is supposed to be there, and I believe those are supposed to stay there. Yes, they were. Yeah, that was going to happen. They show them cut off in the instructions. Brown base, brushing of sandy color over the brown. Watch either Agrax, Skeleton Horde, light dry brush, off white. Nice, yeah. Simple. That's the great thing about painting skeletons. Is you can keep them so simple. And they'll work so well. Their simplicity. Red rim, skull freehand in the round black center, dark red handle silvered. Very nice. That seems like very classic skeleton color scheme. I like it. Greenleaf, what are you up to? You painting right now? Being productive? What are you painting? Is it stuff that hasn't been released yet? You can let me know. This glue takes way too long. Dry with this stuff. Doing anything with this plastic, huh? Yeah, maybe I do just need to use super glue. I'm just putting this whole thing together and it's not even connecting. Stayed so still and quiet for... Oh no. Yeah, I was holding that mini. That's pretty funny, honestly. Okay, we're gonna hold this for a moment. I am building a 1.4 FD laser cannon team for Star Wars Legion. Also, what's going on? Yep, they're just holding this in place. Yeah, trying to glue some things. Your highlights of white on the bone, on the face, anywhere you want to highlight. Yeah. You really are painting like classic. You're doing like classic. Skeletons, aren't you? Okay, it should be good. Like Shatterpoint. Yeah, you're close. Yep. It's the classic Rebel satellite dish looking mini with crew. Okay, we got that. This piece here, this one's going to go. Okay, and I see its connection point, so let's get some. I don't think that plastic glue is going to work. Each models come with instructions, or you have to use the atomic mass. So the older models come with instructions. The newer ones, you have to use the their website. They have a QR code, and that's how you assemble the models, which I really don't like. It's more frustrating than it's worth, definitely. Classical skeleton. Yeah, classic skeleton look is great. I love like fantasy undead stuff. This can go... Oh yeah, it's gotta go that way. Okay. I do understand the, like, you know, they're doing all the little things to save money, you know, all these like cost saving measures, these things where they don't really put cardboard tokens in the, like, they cut out the amount of cardboard they put, which is fine. You know, like, this is an old set and you get all these cardboard tokens in one set. So you have wound counters that equal the total wounds of the model, you have suppression, you have, I don't know what that is, you have, you know, dodge, aim, standby, and then they're actually like order token. You have all these tokens. I have hundreds and hundreds of these. Just so many from buying these models. You don't need this. You buy one starter set, you get all the tokens you need, and then you're set. Like, you get, you know, 10 of these, 10 of these, 10 of these, you know, 15 suppression, a bunch of wound tokens, and then all you need are these order tokens that have your unit type on there, so it's a support unit. That's all you really need for these. Yeah, the fact they would put that in every set, I can see as being unnecessary. Okay, we're doing better here. That is probably my biggest complaint about all of these Star Wars games in general, is that there's just so many tokens and things that you have to like have. and use, and it's just really tedious. Okay, getting somewhere. Their little laser cannon. Raptors didn't come yesterday. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, so you're working on your skeletons. Yeah. Yeah, the War Games Atlantic skeletons don't really have armor, so yeah, you're just formulaic and painting. The skeletons and their weapons and shields. That's really cool. Very cool. This is the controls for the turret. It's right in there, like so. We're gonna wait here. We can trim little soft plastic goobers here. Isn't as bad. Been nice if you didn't need specialty. Yeah, all those games need specialty dice too. Yeah. Shatterpoint had its own issues of. I watched a battle report for Shatterpoint once, and like I play a lot of tabletop games, and I've played. At this point, I've played all of the AMG and FFG miniature games aside from Shatterpoint. And watching people play Shatterpoint was mind-boggling to me. There were like phases within phases within phases within phases, and they just keep going. It was like phases, like phaseception. Yeah, Legion requires specialty dice. Essentially, though, they are D6s and D8s, and it's like one of the D8s, it's only on an 8 is a success, and then like a 7 would be a surge, and a 6 or a 6 would be a surge, 7 would be a success, and 8 would be a crit. And then it's just varying things with that. All of them have one surge result, all of them have one crit. And so you're just rolling to see how many successes you get. Yeah, it's not difficult at all to make it into like a D8 system, but having the colored dice, you'd have to find a way to separate out your dice. Like I have 4 white dice and 3 red dice, and those have different hits modifiers, and it's in the same weapon, so you could make it work with standard dice. It takes some effort. String my bows. Yeah. I normally wouldn't. That's not something I like to do for minis, but I mean, if I found, what you use, like a fishing line might be good for that. That would be, thin enough to make that work. Trim all of our pieces here. I'm going to trim these arm pegs down just a touch. These backpacks a bit. Hey, Marathnin, welcome in. Okay, let's glue some backpacks on. Yeah, fits really well. Okay. These minis are relatively early Legion minis, so they could potentially have some big warping issues. It's going pretty well. I do have a short stream today. Just as a reminder for everybody, I'm going to be getting off here in about 20-25 minutes or so. Unexpected craziness, so I'll go take. No, I can't take the painting sun to go get ice cream. I don't have a car right now. My car is being fixed at the moment. We're stuck at home. Yeah, my son's school lost power, and I don't know. I guess it's a big enough issue where they kind of initiated an early dismissal. See, yeah, he's looking through the binoculars. Okay. It there? No, it's not that guy. It's this guy. Yeah, he's getting on the bus, fortunately, because I'm not able to pick him up. I totally sent his teacher a message, and I was like, "I'm able to pick him up." No, I'm not. I don't have a car right now, just because my car is being fixed, and so we can get these pieces in. We'll trim them both down a little more just to make sure. Okay. No, it's not storms. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Some shenanigans. Whatever it is. Ground-based turbo lasers can't destroy AT-ATs. Dummies in the speeder with string can. That's some powerful string, man, and the force. All right, don't you deny it. I think the idea is the AT-ATs have super thick armor. I don't think they were shielded, but they have super thick armor, especially to defend from frontal attack. So, of course, your ground-based defenses, big lasers, that's exactly what the AT-ATs are made to fight against. But tripping is not something they were made to fight against. Became a problem. Dak, yeah. Okay, this dude's good. What are we doing next? Trying to avoid the soft plastic minis, but I also know this particular mini is not getting re-released this year. It's going to be a while. And I wanted one. It was also pretty cheap. So, tied. Good stuff. bent back in place a little bit, but I think what we do, we glue these in place and then we glue it to the gun proper. Okay. Before we mess with anything here, okay, that piece goes there. It's great. They just plug in the gun to a battery pack. Like, there we go. Okay, something like that. That gun a little bit forward. Put this guy on here. Oops, sorry. Good enough job. Yep. You know, it sits flat. I'm going to be happy with it. Still have them comb the desert? Yeah. This is vote for this thing? Dang, it is. Okay, yeah, they don't have much confidence in it. You know, in Star Wars Battlefront 2, this is the thing that will damage the AT-AT. This is the anti-tank one, and the big the bigger turret pieces that are like completely enclosed, those are the anti-infantry ones. That's how they treat these in Battlefront. Hold it down here. Yeah. I saw the sequel has like a title now. The sequel to Spaceballs. Oh no. It's not the search for more money. No, no. Okay, let's see. Got a message. Okay. All right. Painting Sun is riding the bus. So don't have to freak out about finding a way to go and get him today. All right. The next important thing is we make sure that it's facing forward. Gluing all this down. We can go a little heavy on the glue. All of this will be covered in basing material. World Part 2. You think they will? Was that Mel Brooks? Was that a Mel Brooks movie? It was? Oh, okay. Nice. You know, and I also wonder, should I have just put this guy on separate? Nah, we'll paint them all in one piece. A mini's a mini. And this guy would just be over here with his binoculars. But he might want to be on a separate base here. But that's this mini assembled. I'll get out a spare base and I can just pop them on here. Just like that. Is my draw here? Where's my draw? My drawly. Where is he? Where is he? I don't want him losing his stream streak. Pretty symmetrical. Go with it. All right, there's another Star Wars Legion. I mean, I'm pretty close. I could probably get 1,000 points. Just Hoth Rebels. So back to Luke here. I put some basing material on here, and I forgot to do like a fundamental thing. It's actually not a problem. It looks like it kind of corrected itself. But let's see if I can do this real quick with a knife. Which, I don't even know if he matters, his front arc. I don't know if his arcs matter. Maybe it's not that big a deal. Where are his rules? Where's the music today? Music's still going. We'll turn up a little bit. What's up, Raja? No, this dude, I don't even think this dude needs a... doesn't need his arcs, so it's cool. Its internal temp of a Tauntaun is lukewarm. Yes. Yes. Alright, I had this Vallejo Russian mud. I put down this base. It's fairly thin. It's got decent little texture to it, which is kind of what I wanted. I am going to put some dry brushes on this Russian mud, and then we're going to figure out, and it might be another time, I'll paint the base rim, and then we'll figure out snow effects. I want to put snow on this base. I'm going to go straight for, let's do a dark green brown. Let's see how this looks. Just a little desaturated. Still pretty bright. I need some new synthetic brushes for dry brushing. No ice blue. No, so I had a very specific idea with how to base these, and I had some goals I wanted to accomplish with their basing. I thought about their basing for a while, and essentially I didn't want pure snow bases, even though these minis are Hoth themed. And obviously the only time we see Luke riding a Tauntaun is on Hoth, right? But I wanted to be able to eventually incorporate the other rebel troops in this army without either switching the basing scheme on them or painting them with white camo. I didn't want all my minis to have white camo. I want to paint them like kind of classic color schemes if I can. So I didn't want to have to change that up too much. And I wanted them to make sense. I didn't want to just change basing between my minis and my army. To me, that doesn't... I don't think that would look as good, so... So I figured for a kind of in-between. Surprised they didn't show a Tauntaun in The Last Jedi. I mean, they kind of have, like, space horses, right? Don't they ride them on the deck of a Star Destroyer? Yeah, so what I decided was I decided to do basing that has snow. So the snow theme makes sense with the heavy jackets on the Hoth troopers and everything. But then when I add other minis in, I can keep the same basing and I can paint them how they are. And hopefully they don't feel too out of place. Man, that scene was great. Kylo Ren is a gem in those movies. Okay, let's go brighter. We'll do some caramel brown. Guys, I'm going to unfortunately jump off here in a few minutes. Not too much longer. Yeah, I really like Kylo Ren. I like Kylo Ren's character, and Adam Driver's an incredible actor. You know, what's What's sad to say about people's opinions on the sequel trilogy is it's very reminiscent on people's opinions of the prequel trilogy. And I really like the prequels. I've always liked the prequels. I understand they're not like a cinematic, award-winning masterpiece with the acting or the dialogue or the writing or anything, but I think they're awesome movies. I don't really like the sequels, but I think in 20 years, I think people will start to like them a lot more, for good or for ill. I think people kind of come around to them, just because that's what happens. That's what seems to have happened. But I don't know. Maybe the prequels are just, good movies with like flaws. You talk about Revenge of the Sith. You didn't like Vader saying no. Can't have Vader saying no. Is that what you're saying? He must say yes. Yeah. Yeah, episode 2 is probably my least favorite of the prequels, also, but I still like episode 2. Um, yeah, I think it has its place, though. Like, I love the Obi-Wan, like, investigation story where he's, like, kind of playing detective and trying to figure out what's going on. Obviously, the clones are awesome. It has Jango Fett and Count Dooku, and those are both awesome characters. I wish they just called him Darth Tyrannus, though. Like, Dooku's kind of a weird name to just create for somebody. Um, yeah, the whole Geonosis like battle scene is awesome, with like all the Jedi showing up. That's so cool. Everybody's a director nowadays. Enjoy the movie or leave it. Yeah, I mean, people are allowed to have their opinions, but some definitely stink more than others. That's just the nature of opinions. Django made the second prequel for me. It main reason. Well, that's my favorite prequel. Oh yeah, there you go. All right, all right. Episode 1 was the first storyline. Young Anakin bumbling through saving the day. Yeah, I like episode 1. Yeah, Kamino and Geonosis. Yeah, Anakin and Padme on Naboo was hard to watch. I really like episode 1. Get off this. Looks like my primer is maybe starting to wear off. That's okay. Vintage Wizard, welcome in. Love Life seemed like a well-written romance. Yeah. But like, even episode 2 has like incredible world building and just like awesome things that happen within the story. I can forgive some poor dialogue and awkward moments for the awesome moments that movie brings. Yeah, yeah. I agree, Raja. Yeah, the sequels they had so many like behind the scenes issues. Decisions later on make sense. Immature to handle some of the things he had to do. Well, she also had tons of issues, but who elects a queen for a country at 14 years old? Like, what a weird tradition. And she actually makes like decisions for the planet, for an entire planet of people, and they go on just to make her a senator. And like, Anakin might be like 19, but what is she? She's 27 at that point, but man, she's still stuck in all the weirdness. Vintage Wizard. Yes, this is Star Wars lead. This is Luke Skywalker on a Tauntaun. I painted him yesterday. I'm going to do some more on his basing, but we kind of just establishing some stuff on his basing. 6-year gap. Yeah, she's 14. Okay, and then it's 10 years when they see each other again. So she's like 24 and he's like 18. Yeah, none of those kids are mature. As a as a 36-year-old man, I don't know many 24-year-olds anyway, but I don't know many that I would consider mature either. Like still basically kids. The opening scene at the battle Coruscant is incredible. Yeah. Considered a highly influential senator. Yeah. Yeah, 24 is crazy. But I mean, when you got trillions of people through a galaxy, it's going to be somebody, right? Ready for another coat. Let's do it. If you guys have never seen the Gennady Tartakovsky Clone Wars series from 2003, I recommend it. That series was made between episode 2 and episode 3. So it's supposed to represent everything that you should know going into episode 3. And it's different from the Dave Filoni Clone Wars series. Because the Dave Filoni Clone Wars series is made after the fact, right? And they're like, well, we have to get to this conclusion because these things happen. And like, the original Clone Wars series does that as well, but it's much more serious. And it's Genndy Tartakovsky. Like, it's going to be incredible. But if you watch it through the lens of like, I have no idea what's going to happen in episode 3 while you're watching this, like everybody thought when it was coming out, it makes it so much more satisfying to watch. Yeah, we only let 24-year-olds into Congress today. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Imagine how much disaster that would be. No offense to any, mature 24-year-olds here, but it scares me when it's like, I think we hit a certain age and we're like, man, I really don't know anything, and neither does anybody else. And people are just kind of guessing as they go, through life. What's up, Jaded Valkyrie? How you doing? And you hope that the people that you're voting for have their lives together, right? And I think we find out time and time again that it doesn't matter what age these people are. Like, nobody has their stuff together completely. And it's a terrifying thought. But then you're like, you hope that someone who's a little older can, be able to process and make better decisions based on life decisions and, experience and everything. And how much, older people fail at that anyway, even with all that experience. But that's a whole thing. Rich person hospice. Yeah. We were kids, you thought adults knew what they were doing. Yeah, it's a crazy thought, isn't it? From a walk. I'm doing good. I'm actually about to close down stream. Also, Anthony, what's going on? I don't know of any 24-year-olds who'd want to be in Congress. I'm sure there are. And I imagine people that are like serious growing up and they go to college, like, I want to be a politician, I maybe want to be president one day. They probably know that when they're like 20 years old. And they spend their life like working toward that, right? Like, that is a lifelong thing that you work toward for most people. Some people it's just like nepotism or whatever, but I think a lot of people it's like, they go to law school and they study like constitutional law, and you try to do the things to, work in your community and everything, and ideally, right? But some people are just, super rich and they're like, I want a way to make more money super fast. So anyone who wants to be a politician makes terrible politician. I'd say that's generally true. Yeah. That's the like paradox, right, of leadership, is like anyone who wants to be a leader is not going to be a good leader. Yeah. And I am fine with anybody aspiring to serve in a political office. If that is something that's your dream and you want to do it, and you decide you want to do that when you're, a teenager or a young adult, that's great. Go for that. It's just the issue of the manner in which people get there, and a lot of times what you have to do to get there, right? And so yeah, pension's great, especially so I have to retire. Yeah, 6 years in Congress. Well, I'm happy with Luke. I will show you guys, I do have Han Solo ready to go. So here's Han. Some slight color variations on him, mainly his outfit, but otherwise it'll be fairly similar mini to paint. And then we move on with other things. We assembled this choose people staying there. Yeah, the issue is that corporations are people, and that allows for so many horrible things. Play the game well enough to get things done. Yeah, they corrupt you. Yeah, it's yeah. Yeah, the problem with term limits is those same people like turn around and they go into like lobbying jobs, so they make tons of money anyway, but then they just still influence things behind the scene. So yeah, the amount of money that goes into our political offices and stuff, yeah, they already do, yeah, but it's the amount of money that's thrown around is a huge issue. So money is the root of all evil, and I think that is very well demonstrated. Let me do more thing. Yeah, corporations being people is a problem. Hey, Phaedros, what's going on? So we get this guy. This guy will, he'll pop off here and off this little base, and he'll go on this one when he's painted. But we'll get those painted sometime. Next week, I think I'm going to try to paint a Gundam kit that somebody wants me to paint for them. It should be relatively simple paint, but I might try to do a little extra on it to make it look good. So that's kind of the plan. I am going to tell you guys that I am going to be jumping off here just because the painting son, his school lost power, and so they're doing an early dismissal. So he's going to be home relatively soon, and I'm going to let you guys go so I can kind of be ready and present for him as he gets home. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I should be on Sunday night. I think that's the plan. Nothing changing with that, so should be a good time. Yeah, great points though. Great points. But yeah, you guys have a good weekend. Post pictures. Work on some minis this weekend. Let me know what's going on. All right, I'll try to do the same. I'm gonna be shoveling a lot of dirt if it's not raining on Saturday though, which is unfortunate. But yay, exercise. Leo, great to see you. Cultured American, Jaded Valkyrie, Chipper Phoenix, Raja, Anthony, Phaedros. Guys, thank you so much for coming to hang out with me. Sorry for the short stream. Frankie Fingers, I see you there. Yeah, it's going to be a gardening weekend. It is. It's going to be a shoveling dirt and filling garden beds weekend is the plan. But, yeah. I will see you guys all on Sunday evening. And have a wonderful weekend. Bye, everybody.